Hi everyone, how are all of you doing? I hope that all of you are doing fine because, I'm actually not doing that bad. I just finished my spring classes and it was on intermediate calculus and I gotta say it wasn't very fun. Let's hope I did okay because honestly, I was just very tired and burnt out, but hey, that's over, so let's not talk about that before I start going into a tangent. In today's video, I want to talk about comparing myself with other people. I gotta say, it is one of my biggest weaknesses, I would say, because there's a healthy way of doing it, which is, acknowledging your errors, seeing what the other person did, and hopefully overcoming those mistakes in order to become a better human being. I wish I did that. I mean, I do that sometimes, which is good, but most of the time I tend to be overly critical, incredibly pessimistic, and just hate myself every single time. It's just infuriating. When I was younger, whenever I didn't really meet the expectations of something of my parents, they occasionally like to compare how other people were doing better than me, and it was obviously a way to show that I could do a lot better and use that as motivation to succeed and hopefully be as good as those other people. I mean, the way I perceived it during that time was as if my parents told me that they hated everything that I did and that I was useless and that I was never going to be as good as them and they were perfect and that was not. Obviously, that wasn't it. That was not their intention, obviously, and I was very unenthusiastic and didn't really have the motivation to do anything, and as a result didn't really want to do it, but that demotivation was just really crushing me as well. It's a weird paradox between being incredibly stressed and anxious and just being done with everything. But then as I was growing older, they eventually stopped doing that and I was able to do things on my own. However, I noticed that as my parents were doing it less, I started doing it more within my own self, within my own consciousness. It got into the extreme where I got incredibly stressed and really moody whenever I saw other people doing better than I was, or whenever I saw other people succeeding in different areas. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't do that like all the time, but whenever I see people actually succeeding and becoming really happy and enthusiastic with themselves, and it's really great. But it's inevitable that at times I can feel a little bit envious or unsatisfied with myself and thinking that everything that I do is shit. And the thing is, I compare myself all the time with other people without even thinking. Whenever I do sketching, or whenever I'm writing code or something, or doing an assignment, or making a YouTube video, or doing a violin cover, it can be really unhealthy. At that point, I could be perfectly happy with what I'm doing in the present moment, or I could be perfectly happy with the grades that I'm receiving at this moment, but as soon as I compare whenever my classmates have better grades than I do, or when other people have a lot better artwork or sketches, when other people produce a lot more efficient and elegant looking code, and it's just incredibly frustrating. And not only do I compare my skills and hobbies, but it also happens on the way I look, on my appearance, on the way I dress, or the way I walk, or my posture, and it just really, it just becomes really obsessive and really unhealthy, and I just don't appreciate myself as much as I should. And I feel that one thing that has truly exacerbated this situation is the internet. The internet is an incredible place and it's literally a world of its own and can find so much information, entertainment, music, so many things that we couldn't even have imagined a few years ago. You can find incredibly inspiring people, incredibly funny and entertaining people that even change lives. But on the internet, the things that are highlighted or things that are popular, they tend to be the most beautiful thing, or the most intelligent thing, or the best looking, or the most talented, or the most proficient, or whatever. The best of the very best is being displayed on the internet, social media, or in other places, and it makes me feel useless. It's like, what's the point of even doing anything? And always witnessing the very best of things every single time, and the fierce competition between other people and trying to top each other every single time. It's incredibly terrifying, and people tend to be like all the way over here, and then I'm just like at the very bottom or painfully average, and it's getting to the point where whenever I see successes of other people, I am craving to have that success and satisfaction. Damn, I wish I could make an app that was successful. I wish I could draw as well as them. I really wish I could do as good as them. I really wish I could do this. I really wish I could do this. art. This is exactly what I mean. And whenever I see other people succeeding, I tend to completely idealize them and get rid of all of the struggles that they could have had. And it made me realize that everyone is human. Everyone will go through a lot of struggle and through a lot of obstacles. People struggle all the time, and I fail to acknowledge that sometimes whenever I idealize the overly perfect and successful person. And yeah, it might make sense why I tend to be overly critical of myself, because I know myself better than other people. Failures suck. And suffering is also not very pretty. I feel that I need to acknowledge that better whenever I face insecurities or whenever I fail at something, because it can really help me become a better person overall and attain that success in whatever place or field or thing that I'm attaining or pursuing, you know? And one thing that has been more helpful is to get rid of all of those external things to compare to and try to compare more within myself or very specific criteria that I have. And I think something that has helped me is being able to compare whether I made a growth in myself. Because I noticed that I can be very satisfied with myself if I don't emphasize on how the others are doing, and as long as I'm making the effort on myself, then it's a good thing, right? I mean, personally for me it is. Of course it's gonna be different for other people, but this is what's been most helpful for me. I want to emphasize that comparing yourself with other people can be a good thing, and it can be used in a very effective way. But then I tend to be very vulnerable, overthinking and falling into the dark abyss of negativity. And the most confusing thing about myself is that whenever I attain that level of success in any area, instead of having that blissful happiness, I tend to feel like, great, okay, I succeeded. And that's it. That's it. It's just, why? Why do I do this to myself? I think this is what I need overall. I need to be more patient with myself, acknowledge my own growth and development, and also acknowledge other people's growth and development, and stop idealizing their successes because they also have their own struggles. If you like this video, you can give it a like and subscribe to my channel, because I try to make videos as often as I can, especially during this time because I have a lot more free time. Also, before I go, I noticed that I've been getting a lot more subscribers, and it's crazy. It's actually very exciting because in my almost 4 years, I know it's unbelievable, 4 years of YouTube, I've never had that many people subscribe before. I mean, I know that we're on the smaller side, but still, it's quite optimistic and I really like it. So if you guys are new here, thank you so much for visiting this channel. I hope that all of you have an amazing day, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye!